What's up, everybody? I don't like this song as much. We'll see what's this one. Eh. All right. How's it going, everyone? Ooh, the chat is sparse today. Where's everybody at? Tons of people. I see tons of people in here. Nobody's chatting. What's going on now? It's probably because I didn't stream last week. It always does that for some reason. If I skip a stream and then stream again, it's always like slow to notify people. How's it going, Cassie? How you doing? Cassie's one of our lovely moderators in the chat today. We require consistency. For real. I know, I should be more consistent. It's been every other week, though. Consistently, it's been every other week at least. Hey, Mark. Mark is another one of our moderators. How's it going? We're gonna do just a short stream today. Just chilling, checking in with each other, chatting, and then we're going to discuss, let's see. We're gonna talk about the TikTok ban that's supposedly going to happen, and then I want to touch, because I don't think we talked last, because it was 2 weeks ago, and I think since then the changes of Meta came through, and then we're going to talk about how SpaceX rocket ship is exploded. So Cassie, wow, Cassie, good to see you. Finally made, yeah, for shiz. Lurker is not here. No, Cassie is not here. Cassidy. I see how that works. Cassidy. I think I get it now. Very funny. Alright, thank you, Mr. Music. Thank you, Mr. Music. Cassidy. I like that. That works. So before we get started on our subjects, we're just going to hang out for a while and chit-chat until, more people come in, the usual. And then we'll get going on our topics. So we'll read a few articles, watch a few vids, and then enjoy our weekends. So how was everybody's week? Anything new? Anything exciting? I know, it's been a while since we've seen Cassidy. Oh, you work in retail. I swear I will never work in retail again. Cassie has Monday off. I know. It's like it's barely been 2 weeks in the new year, and already it just seems to be starting off rough. Do, do, do. So I'm wondering which story we should cover first. We'd probably just get into social media first and do the spaceship, the SpaceX, the spaceship, SpaceX starship exploded. I can't believe they're calling it a starship. Would it? Isn't it just like a rocket? I mean, that's how I worded it in my title. I wouldn't necessarily call it a starship. It's not really exploring other stars. See, to me, that would constitute as like a starship if you're traveling far enough to get to other stars, not if you're just, I don't know, meandering about the orbit of Earth. That's just me, though. Hey, Spectral Cord, good to see you. Specs is usually the first one in here, not today. Today, I think we have Skylar as the winner. Is Skylar still here? Mark says, I haven't looked into the rocket gone boom, assuming it was unmanned. Yeah, it's a little odd how it's, I guess it's just not that big of news, I guess. Probably because it's like unmanned and it's just like another one of the dime a dozen launches that SpaceX does. Which I'm not even sure like what my takeaway is about it, other than just like, wow, that's a waste of money and resources. I don't think I would have. How did I find out today? I can't remember exactly how I found out about it today, but it was such a small, like I barely noticed it, and I was like, "Wow, that's not really news." Like it's not really big news, I guess, for some reason. At least not for me. What was the mission? I'm unsure exactly, which is what we're gonna get into. We're gonna just I just found a couple quick articles about it and get into like the nitty gritty details. So stay tuned and like the live stream. So I think I'm gonna save the rocket explosion for the end. First, we're gonna talk about TikTok, but I'm wondering if I want to talk about the changes in Meta first because that's kind of a little bit older. I don't know. Was it going to scoop ozone layer to pipe it into a special bubble around Musk's funny head? Probably. You think it would help? Yeah, everybody grab your snacks. That's a good idea, Cassidy. Grab your snacks. Grab your drink, grab your snacks before we get into it. Because we're just chilling. We're just shooting the shit for a bit. It couldn't hurt. I mean, what would be better is if somebody at SpaceX managed to, like, I don't know, create some sort of black hole that Elon Musk gets sucked into. Cassie's got food in the oven. What kind of food? Chicken tendies? Chicken nuggies? I imagine like dinosaur nuggets. That's so good. Specs has got coffee, popcorn, and weed. Those are things I like. Cassie's got chicken and potatoes. That's always a good staple. Specs, why the coffee? Isn't it late for you, Specs? To be, isn't it late? I mean, I don't know if I sound old, but I'm just like, it is like 6 o'clock. Nobody should be having coffee right now. Hey, Bridget. No, Bridget, we're just getting started. Actually, we're just chit chatting briefly until we get people in here and we get started on our topics. Probably just a few more minutes, like 3 to 5 more minutes, and then we'll get started. It is sure good to see you all. I'm so sorry I did not live stream last week. I just got like really I've just been really distracted lately. So odd. Like time is just like I'll get distracted with something and then I'll look at the clock and I'm like, "Oh, it's totally like 4 hours later." This is what happens when I have like too much time off. I just get like sucked into this void where I don't pay attention to the time at all and I just like get distracted. Like what did I do yesterday? I went through and like organized like every single piece of paper in my house, like paper that you keep, like old bills and stuff and like manuals for kitchen appliances and all that stuff. I just had to like organize and deal with that and go through a bunch of old mail that I was keeping for no reason, like bank statements and shit like that. Like it was this weird, like really boring, like meaningless task, but it like took me like hours. And then at the end of it, I'm like, wow, I have looked at every single solitary paper thing in the home. What do I get? Nothing. And that was my day. It's like it's not even worth really talking about. Bridget's like, I need to organize papers too. It's just one of those things. It's like nobody makes a plan for that, but I got into it and I just couldn't freaking stop. Like I will go through every single piece of paper in this home. I recycled a lot of like extra shit that was just hanging around in boxes, envelopes, stuff like that. So I mean, it was totally worth it to get rid of it. It's just kind of use. I don't like having just useless shit or just shit that just occupies space for no reason. Like drunk drawers. Drunk drawers. Yes, no, junk drawers. I don't like. I have. It's such a love hate relationship because I love having a space to just put shit I don't know what to do with, but I also hate having a space with a bunch of miscellaneous shit that you don't know what to do with. If you know what I mean. Andy, good to see you. Hello, and Lucifer, good to see you. Good to see everybody. We are going to get started here in just a couple, just 1 or 2 more minutes, and we'll get going. I promise. Um, how many of you are on TikTok? I technically have a profile, but I have never like populated TikTok for some reason. I mean, I'll look at TikToks, but TikTok's not really my thing. Okay, so Specs has one, Lucifer has one. Lucifer's on TikTok. I have one, but I don't post anything. And Cassie's like, I'm too old for TikTok. Bitch, you're my age. Cassie's essentially my sister, in case people don't know. Lucifer posts about demons. See, Specs avoided it for a minute a while back. Bridget says that Bridget says I have a channel about spirituality, one about veganism, and one about my adventures where I go, well, shit, I'm missing out on that. I just have one. And I think like also like the reason why I just have one is because when I go to like watch TikToks that I see posted elsewhere, I like to be able to just watch them without being asked to sign in all the freaking time. Hello, Elise. Elise, one of our beautiful moderators. We have a lot of moderators. Because moderators are awesome. Okay, my friends, why don't we. So wait, who has TikTok? Does anybody rely on TikTok? Like, does anybody in here, like, actually make a living off TikTok? When it comes to the TikTok ban, I think that's the first people that come to mind. I'm like, who? What if somebody's making a living off of that? Like, what if somebody's getting an income? What are they gonna do? Also, I don't know everything about this. I don't know all the nitty gritty details, and so there's this little thing in my mind that says, is it gonna be banned? Like, is this serious? I don't know. Let's look into it, and during that, you can share your thoughts, feelings. You can argue, whatever you want. Skylar is here. Hi, Skylar. We haven't seen Skylar in forever. Why don't we get some demons in the chat? Demons in the chat. Mark says, I've got a channel, but I've barely made a footprint with it. TikTok so far has been the one too many for me as a creator. You know, I feel like I should have gotten into TikTok like 5 years ago. And it just didn't happen for some reason. In fact, the last, I'd say, 4 years of my life have been fairly uncreative. It's a little depressing to say that, but it's true. I've been fairly uncreative. More so inputting. Lots of reading, lots of learning. Things like that. Interesting. Just kind of getting a taste in the room of what's going on. Now, I don't. Reminding people, if you're just jumping in, the articles I read, it's not like the sources of the articles are places that I like love so much. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't give a shit about BBC News. You know, a lot of the times their news is bullshit, and then a lot of times they're spot on, but I feel like that's a lot of media. Hey, what's up, Lee? What's up, everybody? If everybody's just coming in, hello. We're just barely getting started. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. We're just talking about the TikTok ban right now. Feel free to leave your thoughts and feelings in the chat, and please give the live stream a like. Thank you, please, por favor. I would appreciate that. Mucho gracias. My name is Jan, and I like to read articles and look at shit that's going on in the world. And cough abruptly. So, I also pulled up TikTok itself to just kind of like go through and just kind of listen to like some people's thoughts. And that's what I'm mostly interested in when it comes to the TikTok ban. My interest is primarily the general public reaction to it, like the general like American reaction to it, the general like TikToker user reaction to it. And then also there's some complexity to this because there's a lot of people from TikTok who are experimenting with going over to Red. Oh Jesus, I'm already forgetting what the fuck it's called. Red. Whatever. Why am I drawing a mind blank? This makes me look very on top of things. Whatever. The Red Chinese app. What the hell is it called? I know it. I hate brain farts. Red Note. Duh. I hate brain fart. I was thinking of like Red Vid, Red Pick, Red something, Red Shoe, Red Gummy, Red Flower, Red Balloon, non schleff balloon. I don't know. non red balloons. I don't know. Hey, Fachita. Red Note, yeah. It's so brand new to me, okay? I don't know, okay? I don't know these things. I don't know everything. If you think I know everything, please leave. So, we are just gonna go. They have, like, updates and stuff on this. It is insane. So, I guess, U.S. Supreme Court has decided to uphold a ban for TikTok that's apparently going to happen this Sunday. And I guess it's not really. I'm trying to like imagine how that's gonna look like physically, and I guess how it's described, what I've seen in several sources, is just the mention of it's not really gonna be unavailable abruptly. It's just gonna become unusable at some point, which is odd. This will be interesting. I haven't seen a big migration and change in social media platforms since like the immersion of Facebook. But even then, my memory is a little shy there. I remember there was MySpace. MySpace was the first social media platform that I was introduced to. And then I remember feeling like that was pretty much the only thing until Facebook came. And then it was like this big thing where like everybody was going to Facebook. And then from there, it turned into uh, I can't remember what came out, Tumblr or Twitter first. I kind of remember those around the same. I remember when Instagram was brand new. I remember when Instagram was brand new and you couldn't sign up for it like yet. You had to be invited to sign up for it. Those were the days. And Instagram used to be super simple. I miss the early days of Instagram. I rocked that shit. I rocked that shit so hard. I loved it. You just posted a picture, you typed in your text, boom. And I even loved it when you got to have like 30 seconds of video. And then it just like kept exploding. It's like, well, then you could have like 1 minute videos and then like 10-minute videos. And then, oh no, now I have to make this Instagram Reels. And then that's the thing. And now, oh no, people want to say longer things. Now we have like Instagram Threads. And it just like, and then all the algorithms and all the changes. And then it's like, oh, the app wants you to post more videos than pictures, or more pictures than videos, or this, that. And now they only want 1 minute videos. Now they only want 10-minute videos. It just makes it so unfun. I don't know. It kind of took the fun out of it for me. So I just been so poo poo on social media for the last 4 or 5 years or so as well. But I have a little hope. I personally do like Blue Sky so far. It's buggy, it's not perfect. I think it has a lot of potential. Very interesting. Anyways, the U.S. Supreme Court has upheld a law that bans TikTok in the U.S. unless its China-based parent company ByteDance sells the platform by this Sunday. We've already gone through this. I feel like we've gone through this like tons of times, like at least 10 times now, and every time it's like, this is it. We're getting rid of it. Mark our words. So that's why I have that thing in the back of my head where it's like, is it gonna happen? I don't know. Or maybe for like 10 days, and all of a sudden it's back for some reason. TikTok had challenged the law, arguing it would violate free speech protections for more than 170 million users it says it has in the US. You know, I don't think a social media platform like that would really be protected under free speech. I don't know. It seems like there'd be a lot of loopholes there. I doubt, like, technically it would. It's like it should. It makes sense that it should. But technically, when you read the black and white ink, it just doesn't work out that way, unfortunately. Anyways, but the argument was rejected unanimously by the nation's highest court, meaning TikTok must now find an approved buyer for the US version of the app or face removal from the app stores and web hosting services. The White House said it would fall into incoming President Donald Trump's administration, which takes office on Monday, to, oh, is it this Monday? Shit. With the way with the way Trump and Elon Musk has been acting, I thought I feel like it's already happened. Like they're already doing shit. Anyways, shout out President Musk. Trump vowed to make a decision in the not too distant future. So the TikTok CEO, who is expected to attend Trump's inauguration with other high-profile guests, said he wanted to thank the incoming president for his commitment to work with the app and keep it available in the U.S. Both Democratic and Republican lawmakers voted to ban the video sharing app last year over concerns about its links to the Chinese government. I I thought we already covered this, where it's Like we're saying TikTok is like Chinese, like that's way like that's kind of like blanketing it. It's like it's there's a lot more details to that where it's not exactly it's not like China owned. So TikTok has repeatedly stated it does not share information with Beijing. Passed in April last year, the law allows TikToker owner ByteDance until 19th of January 2025 to sell the US version of the platform to a neutral party to avert an outright ban. It would mean that from Sunday, Apple and Google will no longer offer the app to new users or provide any security updates to current users, which could kill it off eventually. ByteDance has vowed to not to sell TikTok and said it planned to shut U.S. operations of the app on Sunday unless there is a reprieve. Wow, this is really dramatic. TikTok ban upheld. What happens now? Okay, let's see. What does this say? When was this posted? $10 ago. We're going to go into like article inception. See, it's going to be banned on the 19th of January. It's the 17th now, so we're talking like this Sunday. So enjoy your last 2 days of TikTok, apparently. I mean that with care. I don't mean, I don't mean to sound like insensitive there. I mean, like, quite literally, like, enjoy it. Court denied a last-ditch legal bid. Yep, okay. It found the law banning the social media platform did not violate the First Amendment. Okay, why doesn't it? That's what I would like to know, like, details. Wow, look at this. Words. As of January 19th, the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act will make it wow. Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act. Got it. Very divisive. Will make it unlawful for companies in the United States to provide services to distribute, maintain, or update the social media platform TikTok unless U.S. operation of the platform is severed from Chinese control. Petitioners are two TikTok operating entities and a group of U.S. TikTok users. We consider whether the act, as applied to petitioners, violates the First Amendment. In doing so, we are conscious that the cases before us involve new technologies with transformative capabilities. This challenging new context counsels caution on our part, as Justin Frankfurter advised 80 years ago in considering the application of established legal rules to the totally new problems raised by the airplane and radio. We should take care not to embarrass the future. Okay? That caution is heightened in these cases given the expedient time for our consideration or analysis. Yes, okay. But where's the details of how... Okay. In recent years, U.S. government officials have taken repeated action. Okay. What I want is the technicalities of why it's not protected under free speech. But I guess that it's kind of like obvious. It's considered a foreign application. But it doesn't say that directly. It's just, implied. Maybe this is it. See, the right of freedom of speech and press embraces the right to distribute literature and necessarily protects the right to receive it. An effective ban on a social media platform with 170 million U.S. users certainly burdens those users' expressive activity in a non-trivial way. At the same time, a law targeting a foreign adversary's control over communications platform is in many ways different in kind from the regulations of non-expressive activity that we have subjected to First Amendment scrutiny. Those differences, the acts focus on a foreign government. Okay, as I was saying earlier, I'm like, probably the most obvious thing is they're defining this very much as like a foreign thing. It's foreign. We're frightened of foreign things. Okay? We're frightened, therefore we are angry, and we must burn things. So, the congressionally determined adversary relationship between that foreign government and the United States, and the casual steps between the regulations and the alleged burden on protected speech may impact whether First Amendment scrutiny applies. Okay. This court has not articulated a clear framework for determining whether a regulation of non-expressive activity that disproportionately burdens those engaged in expressive activity triggers heightened review. Wow, that was a mouthful. We need we need not do so here. We assume without deciding that the challenged provisions fall within this category and are subject to First Amendment scrutiny. Okay. Is this the arguing thing? Oh, this is a TikTok versus Garland. Gee, Chan, maybe you should figure out what the fuck it is you're reading first before you just go reading. I just wanted to know the details. Let's see. Checking out the chat. Lee says this is all just to silence people from seeing what's going on around the world. Yeah. I think so. Because I think a lot of right leaning figures have expressed, there's a lot of this fear mongering about it being like Chinese, like, oh, the Chinese government is going to get all of our information, which is why it's interesting to see a lot of these TikTok users go over to Red Note, which is essentially TikTok for China, and post there. Because there's been a lot of insight between both cultures at this point. And of course, it's definitely getting the attention of the Chinese people. I'm not speaking for the government, like the people, like Chinese people are paying attention to what's going on over here more. So in an ironic way, it's kind of unifying people where it's trying to divide, but there's a lot of extra stuff that's happening along with this. Let's see. Andy says, I feel like this whole thing is to manipulate the stock value of TikTok and make a lot of money for stockholders after it's settled. Yeah, probably. I mean, moves like this are typically about money and power. Do-do-do. Okay, let's read this a little bit. This is interesting. I was homeless before TikTok. Who was talking about this? Content creators who have been posting farewells to their followers ahead of the looming ban have been speaking to the BBC about how it could affect their livelihood. Someone said, I went from being a waiter to being able to own a home, and it all started with TikTok, says Drew Talbert, who has more than 5 million followers. Kalani Smith has more than 3 million followers and calls the ban a slap in the face. Somebody else says, I was homeless before TikTok. Or is it the same person? I was homeless before TikTok and lived in the back of my car. Using TikTok propelled me to where I am now. Everyone is praying for some sort of miracle. It feels like the government has turned their backs on us. Now it's okay. Okay. God bless you. No, if you're finally feeling the heat of the government turning its back on you now because your TikTok's being banned, God bless you. You have every right to be outraged. I'm outraged for you. But it's like, it's so weird, like how much horrible atrocities like the government does and how it turns its back on its people. And then it's like, now this is going to really, now this is going to get your goat. Now this is going to enrage you. And this makes me think of just like, I know it's so corny to bring up like ancient Roman times and stuff like that, but I'm just thinking of like all those ancient times, like ancient Greek times and stuff like that, old Western world like stuff. And it's like the rulers were like, well, if we give the people entertainment, then they're not going to revolt. And that's sort of like an ingrained thing we have in us as humans. It's weird. You can take away so much from us, so much. But the moment you take away our creature comforts, our ways to escape from how shitty things are, the moment you take that away, fucking pitchforks, torches, all of that, like savage murders, like it's just, there's something weird about humanity where like you could fuck with us so much, but don't take that one thing that we can escape from reality. to that source of entertainment, that fuel, that chemical reaction we get when we watch content. But I feel really bad for the people who have established themselves and are like truly making an earning off of this. Now, it is possible for these people to be innovative and find another platform to do that, but that's so hard. I mean, I don't know because I hardly have any followers, but you guys are lovely, by the way. I don't like you're beautiful. I love you, but we are a small community. So like if I was to move to a different platform, it probably wouldn't be as bad as somebody who has like significantly more amounts of followers than me. It's really hard to get people to move from one place to the next. So if it's true that TikTok really is going to be dissipating, I'm wondering where all those people are going to go because a lot of people saying they're going over to Red Note, but I don't know if that's going to work out in the long run. It might be interesting now. Where was that one TikTok? TikTok. There was like one TikToker that said it really well, but I don't know if I could find it. If I can't, that's fine. We're going to be watching some TikTokers anyways. Ugh. Hmm. Yeah, no, I can't find that. No, but there was this one gal who was talking about everybody moving over to Red Note and saying how it's really funny and it's kind of an ironic form of protest because our U.S. government is so paranoid about the Chinese government having access to Americans and American information and having influence on Americans. But a bunch of Americans are protesting. A bunch of TikTok users are protesting by going over to Red Note, which is literally like the actual Chinese TikTok, which is a really interesting way to just like be disobedient. I'm all about civil disobedience. I'm all about civil disobedience. Are you kidding me? Don't hurt people, but if you just want to take a shit on the ground, I am all for it. I think it's an interesting form of disobedience. I don't know how well it's going to work in the long run. Because on the other side, I've heard, and who did I hear it from? The Humanist Report. I watched the Humanist Report earlier today, and there was this one Chinese American who was talking about since Americans are moving over to Red Note is now having to make some changes to compensate and accommodate that. And they're thinking of splitting the sort of IP to have like an American version of Red Note and then one for China, which is not good for Chinese Americans because they're losing their access to their people, their culture. It's not, which is an unfortunate like side effect. Where was that? I want to see that girl. I just want to see that talk about that. I do know where to find. Never mind the other lady who was talking. My brain is all over the place. If you have a hard time following along with me, please like let me know. Do YouTube. YouTube. What's wrong with my third monitor? Bruh. Let's see. Lee says, reading comments. Lee says, our economy is in competition with China and their allies. Unless we're talking about economics with this topic, we're not talking about anything at all. That's a good point. This is very much economical. I'm not that good at economics. Um, I kind of tend to look for the more like sociological perspective of like how and kind of more of psychological, like how people are responding to this. Why is my internet being slow suddenly? Can you please not? please. Mr. Internet, please. Thank you. I appreciate that. But this does seem like a thing where the American government really does not give a shit about the American people and how it affects them at all. They really want to keep that barrier. I think Lee has a good point. They're really interested in keeping that barrier and that competition with China. Let's see. I already watched this morning,
Chinese people are touched
but
by the
it's really
story of
good.
Luigi. It seems America's health system is becoming a tool for those giant companies to stripping American people down.
So this kind of starts off talking about how people are posting on Red Note, and Chinese people are noticing that, and Chinese people are finally realizing, or vividly realizing how bad our healthcare system is. So a lot of Chinese people like Luigi, but talk. Oh, he has a clip of that girl. I was looking. Okay, cool. So let's see. Let's go back here. So never mind the whole healthcare thing. That's a whole different subject. Let's
And to
talk.
learn to say certain phrases in Mandarin on Red Note. And then you have Chinese people who don't already speak English trying to learn certain phrases to communicate with Americans in English. And what's happening feels really significant. And some American TikTokers, they feel that. So they went back to TikTok to share their reactions after being on Red Note for a little bit. And what's obvious is that this kind of started out as a rebellious ploy by TikTokers to antagonize the US government for banning TikTok, but it morphed into something much more wholesome and substantial. And I want to play a quick compilation to show you what I mean.
有很多中国朋友交了很多血，这些不公会没有你们，这一切都不可能实现。
Something so hilarious about the US government forcing Americans to realize
This is what I wanted to find earlier that I couldn't. And then there's another point I want to bring into mind.
they're in the bad place and that China pities them. People on Red Note being like, oh, you guys can't afford groceries? That's insane. Oh my god, your MRI was $1,200? It shouldn't be that way, you guys. You guys are humans. You deserve rights. And Americans being like, they got a point. What the fuck? Like, it's actually insane that the American government pushed Americans into the hands of seeing that, oh my goodness, these people are nice and welcoming, more welcoming than the US government. What a backfire. Like, it's actually, you couldn't write.
You can't hear her? Thank you so much. I can start it over. It's true. You can't hear. Sorry about that, people. Anyways.
Something so hilarious about the US government forcing Americans to realize that they live in the bad place and that China pities them. People on Red Note being like, oh, you guys can't afford groceries? That's insane. Oh my god, your MRI was $1,200? It shouldn't be that way, you guys. You guys are humans. You deserve rights. And Americans being like, they got a point. What the fuck?
Yeah, there's a lot of interaction of Americans going over to Red Note and interacting with Chinese people, and Chinese people are being incredibly sympathetic. Not really sympathetic, but just like, yeah, like she said, like pitying us, like holy shit, that's actually happening to you guys. That's not right. And from a sociological perspective, for me, that's gonna change a lot of things when you get citizens talking and communicating with other citizens and culture sharing with other cultures. There's a good sign of unity there. That's going to be really interesting how that plays out.
Like, it's actually insane that the American government pushed Americans into the hands of seeing that, oh my goodness, these people are nice and welcoming, more welcoming than the US government.
I think that's because I always feel like the internet and social media in general is kind of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it's a powerful tool to unify people, connect cultures, and serve as that a connecting device for unity. On the other hand, it could be very divisive. It could spread lots of misinformation, divide people ideologically. So it's like social media is being used as a tool by the government. They're trying to remove that access from us, but it's not working to their advantage. American people are turning over to actual Chinese social media, finding connection with other people there in unity. So, really incredible stuff. I think it's very, very interesting.
What a backfire. Like, it's actually, you couldn't write this. You couldn't make this shit up. The most hilarious way to push Americans into the hands of like the great superpower that you're so afraid of is for them to just look at the people being nice to them and being like, oh, you guys deserve healthcare. You're humans. You should be able to afford groceries. Look at this grocery haul. We can actually afford food. This is what it's like to afford food. This is what it's like to afford your life. I feel bad for you guys over there. Like, it's actually insane. Pity, the main emotion to the people who've already been on Red Note being like, hi, TikTok refugees, I'm so sorry you live there.
This is a
Yeah, really, really interesting perspective. Again, I don't know how it's going to work in the long run. I suspect there'll be some other alternatives. Elise says we should be trying to shake off the colonizing vibe Americans give off, not taking over their app. That's an interesting perspective. I could definitely see that. There's definitely some people on Red Note who are like, hell no, who the hell are all these Americans? Which is fair. I personally do not see it as a reflection of colonizing, mainly because it's like the 99% like working force, people that actually make a living off of that are feeling forced, and they're like being run out and exiled to a different place. So if TikTok remained available and perfectly accessible, and a shit fuck ton of Americans went over to Red Note anyways, because Red Note would be more popular or something, I could definitely see that being a sort of like colonizing mentality. But having TikTok just like removed and people like unsure of where to go, that's just like where my thoughts kind of like go with that. But I can totally, but that's what's interesting about this conversation, is that there's lots of different aspects to this. It's not like a perfect like black and white thing.
These people that was fed to us through Western media and government propaganda, and it's created assumptions and expectations about what Chinese people were like in our heads from such a young age, right? But interacting with them shatters all of those preconceived notions. When you go to Red Note, you're immediately greeted by Chinese people who are incredibly welcoming and kind, not to mention some of them are super funny, and just seeing fellow humans treat you with respect, that radicalizes you in a way no propaganda ever could, and hundreds of thousands of Americans are now having this eye-opening experience. Mm-hmm. And I think that
there really has been like a certain attitude that we're sort of just taught and we absorb as we grow up as Americans in this country, where when we look at other countries like China or that sort of point of view is fed to us. It's a reality tunnel. It's a tunnel of perception or perspective that we're looking through, that we see people in a certain way as sort of lacking independence and freedom, like this special idea of independence and freedom that we have that is so nuanced that when you try to dissect it, we really don't have much independence and freedom at all. So in comparison to other countries like China, they don't have much issues with being able to afford groceries and healthcare and stuff. So it's really interesting to have that cross cultural sort of.
It's important, and it should inspire more people to challenge themselves and talk to others, not just online, but in real life. And I'm kind of having to challenge myself to do the same as well, because we've all kind of become really isolated since COVID. And for a lot of us, our only...
And, on that note, too, like the idea of like, Chinese people being upset that TikTokers are coming over there. And even if that happened vice versa, with what social media is and how it's globally accessible, even if a platform is predominantly made for like a certain country, like it's still a platform to connect across the globe. It's, for globalization. And eventually, especially in thinking as a Neogenian, we are going to have to start at some point breaking down the barriers of culture and start intermingling and having those platforms where we do that, or having that patience at least. But these things aren't done perfectly. It's not like everybody's going to be happy. You can't. It's not like you can please everybody in the fucking world at once.
Engagement with other human beings is through negative interactions on Twitter. And that's just not healthy, right? It kind of sours our perception of humans in general and makes us almost misanthropic. So it's nice to see that this has been a learning experience for so many Americans. And I'm glad that they are feeling good about this. But with that being said, as I alluded to earlier, there is a downside to Americans flooding a Chinese social media app. And I say this because they may have inadvertently catalyzed changes to the app that will ultimately shut Chinese Americans off from their own Chinese culture. And
now this is something that I think is really upsetting.
This TikTok user explains what's happening and how it affects her.
Renault or Xiaohongshu just released an update in the Greater China region with a function to separate out foreign IPs. And there are now talks of moving all foreign IPs to a separate server and having a different IP for those who are in the Greater China area. I know through VPNs and other ways, people are still able to access the app, but essentially, this is going to kill the app for Chinese Americans who actually uses the app to connect with the Chinese content, Chinese language, Chinese culture. It's a way for me to feel, I don't know, all of this just because we wanted to say fuck you to the US government. I get it, but I just wish it wasn't at the cost of others. That's all I have to say about that.
And that is genuinely heartbreaking because as a Chinese American who used Red Note to stay in touch with Chinese people and Chinese culture, she may lose that as a result of this mass migration from TikTok. And obviously, nobody intended for this to happen, and it doesn't take away from all of the positives that came out of this, but it's still a really great cost to pay if you're a Chinese person living outside of China, and this was one of the only social media apps that you used, and it was a link to Chinese culture. And to be clear, I don't think that this is a plot by the app to cut off communications between both cultures, because basically, as I understand it, everyone was in one big feed in the same server before TikTok users joined, but now that there's so much foreigners, they've created different servers because, like all social media companies, they're trying to tailor content to individual users and thus assume Americans and Canadians and Europeans are going to want to see different things on their feed than Chinese users. So there has to be some way to break these cultural barriers and talk to other people around the world without severing connections between immigrants and their communities. So that's something that I feel like needs to be discussed.
Yes. I mean, you could, somebody could almost just write whole, sociological, books on how social media changes affect people as a whole, or citizens as a whole, depending on the countries. Very interesting. I have downloaded Red Note. I've taken a look at it. I don't have any plans to post on there at all. I was just curious. I guess there's another app that people are also moving to. It's called Lemon 8. I have no idea what that's about whatsoever. I personally, I have a profile on TikTok. I don't use it. I don't post on it. So it doesn't make any difference to me personally if it's no longer available. But with that, let's see. And then there's all these changes in Meta that have just been so odd. I guess Mark Zuckerberg is going like MAGA now. We were gonna listen to some TikToks by people. Yeah, we'll skip that. I think we get the gist. So, yes, Meta, more speech and fewer mistakes. What a sentence. So this is Mark Zuckerberg talking about
Hey everyone.
his changes.
I want to talk about something
Looking like Mark Zuckerberg pretending to be human again.
important today.
Let me take a look at that chat. Mark says we're indoctrinated, that we are hands down the greatest nation on earth. Dems and Republicans both push that narrative constantly, and it's way out of sync with reality. It's true. Yeah. We don't have it the best in the world. Mark says the U.S. government won't ban TikTok without banning our access to Red Note within a year. Probably, honestly. If there is so much movement over to Red Note, that it'll probably be completely blocked from like the country. Kind of like how isn't Google blocked from China? I thought, wasn't that a thing? Is that still happening? Shows you how much I fucking pay attention. Oh, Elise says Lemonade is owned by the same company as TikTok, so yeah, that's not going to last.
Because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today.
Are we not allowed to?
But a lot has happened over the...
What is happening? Why is this blurry? What's going on here?
Hey everyone. I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached
Okay, but what kind of post? What quality of post are we talking about? This 1% of posts getting censored.
a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X.
And look how well the community notes on... So if anybody's not familiar with community notes, it's kind of like Wikipedia. It's just like everybody just contributes to until everything conjugates into a singular fact, which makes no sense. That doesn't make... Okay, that's like a fallacy of popular opinion. Just because the majority of people think something is correct doesn't make it correct. So it makes no sense to do community noting and banning a third party for doing this fact checking for you. It honestly, you don't have to be a tech wizard to realize that there's something odd there.
Starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. but the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more
Politically biased how? How has the third-party fact-checking site been politically biased? In what sense?
trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse.
Okay.
What's
And by that he words it like it's a good thing, but it's not. He's like, we're gonna not limit conversation about gender and immigration. Not limiting it as in we're gonna open it up to more hate speech.
started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas.
See there, right there. You hear that talk? That's anti-woke talk. That's him going, you know what? Facebook's become too woke.
To be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms.
It's so funny how he talks about this like it's just, a good thing for everybody in general. It's just this censorship on misinformation has gotten to the point where the people who are giving the misinformation feel threatened, and now they need special protections. Hello. Hi, Morg. Hello, Morg. Good to see you. Yeah, Lee said it right on the mind. Mind you, these are hyper-censored during blue terms and removing censorship during red terms. Yeah. Do we really need to look at them anymore? Let's see. Starting in the U.S., we're ending our third-party fact-checking program. Great. That's a terrible idea. We will now use more speech allow more speech by lifting restrictions, which means that people can be assholes on there. Moving to community notes, which is useless. And no, it doesn't work on X/Twitter. Allowing more speech. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Morg. That's awesome. What should we do? Let's do snakes in the chat. Of course, I'm interested in how this affects LGBTQ people because, gender was one specific thing mentioned for some reason. LGBTQ LGBTQI people are being put on the slab again. So on January 7th, Zuckerberg announced a complete overhaul of content policies. Meta has also announced the termination of its broader DEI efforts, further signaling an abdication from its commitment to inclusion. Here we explain what these things mean. So on these platforms. So anyways, so we framed it as a bold defense move against free speech or for free speech. I don't want to read the whole thing. So let's see. Policy rationale. We believe the people use their voice to connect more freely when they don't feel attacked on the basis of who they are. That's why we don't allow hateful conduct on Facebook. All right. Yes, all of that stuff. Going over this. I thought they were gonna explain like the parts that. Oh. So Meta's update community standards now expressly permits users to describe people as mentally ill or abnormal. That's pretty much it. It's like you are now where you weren't before allowed to call LGBTQ people mentally ill. Now, why is that a big deal? Because it's like you could sit there and be like, well, if you don't like being called mentally ill, then, just turn it off or look away or stuff like that. When you call somebody, an LGBTQ person, mentally ill, it supports misinformation that, like, being gay or being trans is a mental illness, which that is factually incorrect. However, if you allow a numerous amount of people and the majority of the population to label it as such, that belief will carry out, which will inevitably harm LGBTQ people as a whole in general. That's what hate speech leads to, okay? And this is one thing between X and now Mark Zuckerberg's going all right-wing and getting all anti-trans and kissing Trump's ass and stuff. And then you got X with Elon Musk. I'm not really keen on being on any of these platforms whatsoever. Now, I do have accounts. I'm not planning on deleting them.
Worried.
But let's just say you won't find me posting on Instagram or Facebook anymore. So when it comes to like, oh, for goodness sakes, you silly thing. What is my mouse doing? I'm trying to get this to go into my other tabs. Hold on, my computer's being fucking prick right now. There we go. All right, there we go. What was I saying? Oh yeah, because of everything, like I won't be posting on like my face. I have a Facebook page for Jan Daemon. I'm not going to be posting on that anymore. I'm not going to be updating Instagram anymore. I'm not going to be on X anymore. In fact, the only places you're going to be able to find me now is on YouTube, on Blue Sky, and on Discord. Let me just listen to this for a little bit. I don't want to listen
from the
to this
beginning about basically becoming this sort of decider of what is true in the world. Or that's like kind of a crazy position to be in for billions of people using your service.
That, of course, a suddenly jacked Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg telling Joe Rogan what sent him down the path towards ending fact-checking in favor of an X-like community notes strategy. It's the latest in a Meta mag during COVID. Listen.
These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous.
Okay, so Stephen, President Biden and his staff actually yelling at Meta executives to take down factual, even facetious information.
Nah.
They have used that platform to put in place a lot of rules that I think feel arbitrary and feel like, they haven't really invented anything great in a while. And it's like Steve Jobs invented the iPhone, and now they're just kind of sitting on it 20 years later. And, they actually, I think year over year, I'm not even sure they're selling more iPhones at this point. I think like the sales might actually be declining. I think part of it is that each generation, it doesn't actually get that much better. So people are just taking longer to upgrade than they would before. So the number of sales, I think, has generally been flat to declining.
Listen to this.
Obviously, society has plenty of that, but I think corporate culture was really like trying to get away from it. And I do think that there's just something, it's like,
Ugh, I can't listen to it anymore. I think that's just like my point is like I'm just so disappointed with like how Instagram is, how Facebook is. I definitely don't want to be on Twitter. I'd like to be active again on social media. I feel like I don't know. I used to be really active. Now I haven't. I do like Blue Sky, so if you join Blue Sky, you can find me at Jan Daemon. And then also, if you become a member of my YouTube channel, you can get access to my Discord, which I have cleaned up and simplified recently. So if anybody has access to our Discord server, the Daemon Discord server, you'll see there it's kind of simplified right now. The general chat is opened up to where you can share links to articles and stuff that we can have discussions on what's going on in the world and figure out, maybe what we would like to discuss on Fridays when we do live streams. And hopefully we'll be getting some good YouTube, long-form YouTube video content out this year. So... Lee made a Neogenian starter pack on Blue Sky. I was thinking that needs to be done, but I didn't know how to make one. So yeah, if Lee made one, that's great. If you join Blue Sky, there is what's called a starter pack. So it's like a page you go to, and it's like a list of people associated with a topic. So if it's a Neogenian starter pack, you go there, you press follow, and you follow everybody in that list. I've followed some other starter packs like the sociology starter pack, the mathematical philosophers starter pack. Like there's a lot of like awesome people to follow on Blue Sky. And why I like Blue Sky is there's people on there that are not on Facebook, are not on Instagram, are not on X. Like there's like college professors, there's like scientists, there's sociologists, there's philosophers, there's like people with like high level degrees, lots of experience, a lot of academic people on Blue Sky. That's what I like it, but that's also what I fill my feed with, and I tailor my feed to my needs, which is like more, I don't know, sciencey, sociological philosophy, stuff like that, news articles, politics. But hopefully Blue Sky will get a little bit better. Yeah. Mark said it straight, good, plain as day. What it boils down to is that you go on Facebook and post about being gay or trans or vegan, and strangers will pig pile on your post just to say you're R-worded, and that will be as reliable as on X. Yeah, which is what they do on X. People just sit and call each other the R-word all day long. Imaginista says, yes, I found some cool people in the Jungian Pact. Yeah, I feel like Neogenians at this point are kind of spread among different social media platforms, which is fine. But I personally will be investing most of my time on Blue Sky because that's just what feels comfortable to me. I'm not saying that Blue Sky is perfect. It's like the most perfect place ever and it's the best in the world. That's not what I'm saying. I really don't give a shit. I just want somewhere to go where, it's not owned by Zuckerberg and not owned by Musk. And that's why I'm sticking to YouTube and Blue Sky. And then Discord, I'm going to try and populate and get going. Because that's all on me to get that populated and going and busy with conversation. And that will be the best way to talk to me directly is through Discord. So yes, there is a Jan Daemon Discord. It's just called Daemon Discord. If you become a member through my YouTube channel, you get access to that. So let's see, what's that? Oh, we didn't look at the spaceship thing. Yeah, so I guess there was a spaceship that exploded. Let's just read about that because it's funny. That's kind of our ending subject anyways. Let's see. We're past an hour. Yeah, let's just read up on this a little bit and call it a good night. Let's see. Orange balls of light streak across the sky over Turks and Caicos Islands, a result of debris from SpaceX Starship. And Elon Musk's response to this was like, oh, well, space exploration isn't perfect, but it's sure entertaining. Because, I'm sure when you're rich as fuck and the richest guy in the world, you can look at something like this and go, oh, isn't that pretty and entertaining? And because, you just have fucking like money to burn like that, which is just like a huge like waste of resources, money that could have gone to like better things, better projects. Not to mention that this caused a bunch of like delays and flights and stuff for other people and a lot of extra work for other people. Imaginisa says, I keep forgetting there's more on Discord than just the Citadel. I know. Yeah, it's funny. Like, the Citadel is so hopping, and then I'm not comparing my Discord to the Citadel, but, like, my Discord, there's, like, maybe 10 people in there, like, nobody talks. But I haven't done anything with my Discord. Like, so that's, like, my problem. But it's like, yeah, oh, yeah, I have a Discord, too. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with it because I don't want it to just be like a copy of the Citadel. Plus, I don't talk about like nearly half the topics that Morg talks about at all. We're kind of like, I mean, we're both Neogenian, but Morg definitely has their own style of like subjects of what they like to focus on and talk about, and I like the stuff I like to talk about. Cassie B says, so I crash your Discord. Kidding. I get in there eventually. Yes. Yes, in fact, I think I need to post a link to my Discord, a new invite link uh, to the Discord, which I will do immediately upon ending this live stream. So stay tuned for that. You can get access to that. I do have a Patreon, but honestly, there's like 5 people like signed up to that. I can't remember, like very few people. I'm going to be closing that soon. And the reason why I'm going to be closing my Patreon soon is because I don't do anything with it. So there's no reason to draw attention to that. So I really just want to be firmly on YouTube, Blue Sky, and Discord. Let's see. So, U.S. regulators and government officials in Turks and, what is it? Kyakos? I don't know how to pronounce that. And I don't care. Are looking to reports of property damage in the island nation caused by debris falling after a SpaceX Starship vehicle exploded over the ocean during a test mission Thursday, according to the Federal Aviation Administration. Flights of the spacecraft and rocket system are now grounded pending an investigation to the mishap. The agency confirmed in a Friday statement the FAA and Turks and blah 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 officials both said Friday there were no reported injuries. So, it's pretty much in a nutshell, the ship had some issues. Elon Musk says it was something with like fuel leaking. I don't know. I just think it's like cheap. He's the richest guy in the world. I bet you, like, the materials that they're actually building that shit out of is cheap. Because that just seems like a place he would cut corners. And so it exploded. It was technically over the ocean, but there's, like, debris spreading and showering everywhere, where they had to, like, ground a bunch of flights, like, between those islands and stuff. And it was just a big old mess, which means that it, delayed a bunch of flights, caused a bunch of unnecessary work for people, a bunch of headaches, bullshit, just because Elon Musk wants to play with his little toys. Let's see. The SpaceX vehicle disintegrated partway through the 7th uncrewed test flight rocket system about 10 minutes into the mission that launched out of South Texas. A shower of debris prompted the FAA to briefly create a debris response area that forced planes to reroute, causing a string of travel delays. All right. Okay, everybody. No, you don't get to go home yet. You have to have an agonizing layover just because of Elon Musk. God, I would like summon the hounds of hell. Because you know how stressful flying is anyways? Like, what if you were like just barely getting home and like the traveling experience was already shitty and you're already on the edge and it's like, sorry, we're going to be delayed because of Elon Musk. I would literally summon the hounds of hell and like turn my skin inside out and just with the fury of all of Satan, like I will rain fire on the earth. Ugh. When asked to clarify what constituted a hazard area, which locations were closed the air during traffic launch, let's see, the investigation is ongoing and okay, all right, cool. All right then, keep your secrets. Wow, look at that. I mean, it looks cool. Wah, wah, wah. Sonic booms and reported damage. I would like to see that. That would be interesting. I would love to see a rocket ship explode like that, knowing that it's unmanned and nobody's going to get hurt. Wow, look at that. I mean, Elon Musk, like, using a shit fuck ton of his money to, like, fund these, like, rocket ship things. I can't think of anything more perfect to describe, like, little dick syndrome. Because, you know, they have that thing with guys who, like, they're feeling inadequate, so they'll buy, like, a super huge Jeep or, like, a big lifted pickup truck. But, like, Elon Musk just goes straight to, like, you know what, I'm feeling very unconfident about my genitals. I'm going to build a massive phallic looking symbol to reign supreme over everyone, and it will blast off into the sky. You know that line from the original Jurassic Park with like the old guy is talking about what's his face by played by Jeff Goldblum, but he's like, I really hate that man. Like that's how I feel about Elon Musk. I'm like, I really hate that man. Folks, I think that's enough. I think we've been tortured enough. And the main takeaway is to let you know, like, I am not posting anywhere except for Blue Sky and Discord. And if you become a member of my YouTube channel, you can join me on my Discord. We can have discussions during the week. And I'm pulling up my page now to post an invite link for members on YouTube, just for members, because I can make community posts just for members on YouTube. So I'm going to do that just for members. And that will be that. Let's see. I better do it right now before I get off, actually. Oh, wait, no. I don't want to pull up Discord there. Let's see. Discord app. I lost 2 followers in the last 28 days. Oh my god, my life is over. Nobody likes me. Okay, again, I'm just taking care of this invite link before. Andy's like, but Chan, sometimes big pickups are necessary. I know, they're great. They're actually, like, they're really great. My friend that I live with has a big pickup truck, and it is so convenient when we want to go, like, camping and stuff, and or just, you know, peer down upon the peasants below. So let's see, go to my Discord. Let me get an invite link. Invite people. Copy of invite link. Great. Now I'm going to post. Create a post. A community post. For members only. And here we go. Hello, members. This is a new, fresh invite link to the Daemon Discord server. Come join the fun. Come join the fun. You will have fun. God damn it. Wait a minute, I used the copy button. What the fuck? Discord's like, just use the copy button. I pressed that, but when I, like, pasted it, it just pressed it. it just pasted copy button, like the words copy button. This is silly. Invite link. Generate a new link. Okay, where is it? Where's my link? Oh, for fuck's sakes. Okay. Apparently I can't invite people. I gotta figure that out. I don't know why the link's not working. All right, I'll figure it out. Anyways, good to see you, everybody. I'm going to fix that link. I think I just need to go to Discord, like, through the browser, like, for some reason. Or, like, create a link, and I'm going to do that. So, anyways. Media fast, alcohol binge, or both. Consume lots of media and drink lots of alcohol. You heard it from me, folks, right here on the Jan Daemon show. Just don't do that. Please don't do that. Anyways, let's get some outro music. I hope you all have a good weekend. And if you want to chat with me on Discord, I'm also in the Citadel as well, for those of you who are members of Morg's channel. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you're new here, never mind. Look for you all in Discord. I was also thinking of offering an extended, like, invite to people who are members of the Citadel, just to have some, like, crossover, but we'll see about that. I don't know how to do that. But that will be that. That will be that. All right, my lovely beings. It was good chatting with you today. It was a good stream. Good to see you all here. Please take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend. If Morg's streaming Monday, I'll see you there. And thank you to our lovely moderators. Everybody, please thank our moderators for keeping our place, like, chill and cool. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Elise. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you to everybody who became a member. Yes. Oh, yeah. MC Heavyset became a member. Thank you so much. Welcome to being a Daemon. You are now officially a Daemon. Let's see. Demons in the chat for MC. All the super chats, all the memberships, these things help me do my work. I'm going to be starting another semester of school here soon. So more knowledge to enrich our conversations with and be better at this. So, all right, my friends, I'm headed out. We'll see ya.